Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It's Peter Buckner, and we're going to get started with another really transformative and powerful meditation. Now, today is going to be a lot less talking on my part because the most important thing about everything going on this morning is it's a focus for you. It's a opportunity to really liberate yourself and recognize the full being in which we all are, that pure self, the pure knowing of what we are. So really, to get into this today, the most important thing to understand is that conceptually, we need to recognize that we can never identify ourselves fully, in the sense of you can't look at yourself in a mirror. You can't look at consciousness in a mirror and be like, oh, I know what that is. I can see it. That's not how it works, because fundamentally you're looking out. You are a window of awareness that's purely perceiving the world. So through this same understanding, it's just like our eyeballs. The eyes can't see themselves. They look around. They know what they are because we see. They know what they are because we discern what we're not. And in this same process of deduction, that's what we're going to be exploring today. So really, everything that we discover about what our pure self is only understood like a sickness. We only can identify it through the symptoms, through the aroma, through the kind of surrounding presence that we observe. So when you see all the clutter within your own experience leave and you're left with peace, that's kind of that indication that, you're closer to recognizing your pure self, because we realize what we are through determining what we're not. And in that same sense, you're left with nothing but bliss. So, per usual, if you can, find a nice comfortable position. Ideally, you don't want to have bright lights on you. I can't avoid that right now, but one of the things you just want to do is just make sure you're comfortable and relaxed. If you want to lie on the ground, go for it. Just make sure you don't fall asleep, because you don't want to start up bad habits. Now, ultimately, just allow yourself to sit upright comfortably and just relax. The most important thing about meditation is that you're really just comfortable and relaxed, because again, we want to be able to let go. So if you can simply close your eyes. And from here, if you want to join at home, you can. We'll be doing our 3 ohms after the bell hits. When you are asked to listen, your attention shifts to the sound. If we're asked to focus on our hands, on our feet, we could guide our attention towards them. Observe the pressure felt, the sensations witnessed. So when asked, shift your attention towards yourself. Where does it go? Does it go anywhere? Do you find yourself listening to thoughts? The age-old question, asked throughout generations and millennia, has been, can the seer be seen? We can look at this as the experiencer, the witness, that which we call I and me, for they are all terms for the same concept. So can the seer be seen? Does such a question leave the mind empty? Does it leave the emotions feeling restless, the body feeling antsy? Many of us can't come up with an answer, and because such, we believe ourselves to be wrong. However, the truth is in the silence. Fundamentally, no, the seer cannot be seen, but you must recognize that experientially, that what we are, what you are, this shared realm of I, is nothing. Nothing but a point of consciousness to see and experience itself. It has no shape, no color, no past, no future. It simply is, as we all simply are. You can't hold on to it from yesterday. You can't materialize it tomorrow. For the sense of self, our sense of being, only exists in this now. This singular one moment. So come to know yourself right now. Simply observe your life from the position of the observer. Come to understand this is what you are. It has nothing to do with an identity, with a belief, with the past pain, or with the future happening. We can all discover the stillness and ground of our pure being once we simply rest. This process of inner looking is not an action. It's not about a doing, looking at, being this. It's simply resting and being as you are. If you find yourself with a loud internal environment and thoughts and emotions and the body are crying out, realize this is observed. You are seeing it. You are hearing it. Therefore, fundamentally, it is talking to you. But without your attention, without your affection, where does it go? What are thoughts and emotions without our affection? This is your power, one of many, to focus this window of pure consciousness onto an object, a task, an idea, a belief. It's through our heart that we live, for we only manifest what we show affection for. This must be known. This must be fully understood. For when we see that everything in our lives that arises is solely because we shift ourselves towards it, then we can free ourselves from the cycles of repetition that plague us. Allow yourself to wake up. Wake up from the dream and the belief that you are static, that because of the past, it means the future must be. At any moment, like a light switch, you can turn off the conditionings, but you must look and see them for what they truly are. Something outside you. Bring yourself back to the question, what is it that sees and hears these emotions and thoughts within me, within this body, within this form? Because in truth, you cannot say that you are solely the body. For where is it in dream when you still perceive yourself? Where is it in the moments of play when you lose hours but experience only moments? The subtleties of what we are constantly being revealed to us, but we must slow down to see them. We must stop and allow ourselves to stop getting immersed into the play of life and to truly just witness it for what it is. Question, look, search. What are you when thoughts go away? What are you when emotions drop? When you no longer feel the body? Where do you go? The keys to the universe lie within you, but only when you see yourself for truly what you are. You must seek to push beyond what is commonly understood and accepted. No ounce of truth can be discovered in the realms of what is currently known. What are you without your identifications? What are you without others to give you value, to give you a place in this world? Concepts don't apply to this search. You're beyond someone's child. You're beyond an adult or a teenager or an elderly. You're beyond all terms. Because no matter what we've done in our life, or what has happened to our form, or how long we've been dancing this dance, the one thing that hasn't changed is the one who witnesses it. This experiencer of life we all know as I, so intimately. But what is this self, this I, this me? when nothing else is attached to it. When you let go of the past pains, when you abandon the present shortcomings, and when you no longer fear of the future. In this world of dualities we are born, therefore we must die. But life holds no bounds to this physical form. Our spirit, ourselves, what we are, is eternal. This isn't your first life. But what if you can make it your last? What if you could free yourself right now? That is the choice we are all tasked with when we come into existence in this material world. You have a choice to be bound to matter, suspect to the chaos and roller coaster that attachment brings. Or you can free yourself and dance your dance with joy and a freedom and trust that simply cannot be expressed. For when we know what life is, we don't see anything or anyone as other. Even in a fundamental concept, you know this to be true. For you are not outside of life. You are a part of it. You are but one aspect of the whole, exploring itself. But a part of one, looking at one, is still one. Such understanding of this world, of this universe, of this life, can only be understood when you determine what you are fully. When you let go of what you're not. Your past conditionings do not define you. They are simply obstacles we must learn to overcome. And realistically, these jackets and layers of conditioning, they hold us back. They limit our movement. They make us uncomfortable. Just as if you were going to wear 30 jackets and 12 pairs of pants. Each layer confines and restricts us more and more, causing more tension. And when we remove them, we liberate ourselves. We can reveal what we are not through our contradictions. How do we feel we are versus the reality of our actions? How do we perceive others to be? And how do we express similar characteristics? In truth, every aspect of our lives reflects a minor form upon ourselves of what plagues us. So we too must look compassionately and see ourselves in others. For we're all unwinding and unraveling this knot of confusion and misidentification. We were born into such confusion, But that does not give us the right to stay there. It is our duty, our role of children to end the cycles of our parents. It is the role of light workers to shine forth upon the world. It is the responsibility and task for each of us to wake up to what life really is, ultimately before we can discover who we are. Because until we see that we all share the same ground of I, and that our internal environment is something to be perceived just like when we open our eyes and see this material world, that there is more to ourselves than the present urges, the strong impulses and happenings of attachment. We are far more capable and have such profound powers to transform and heal ourselves. But we must sit and look. What are the patterns of our own conditionings? When does temptation reveal itself? When do we act upon our desires? All of these actions reveal the truth. What is it that makes our blood boil or tremble in fear? What makes us excited and happy? What makes us anxious and eager? Every aspect of how life expresses itself can reveal truth to you. But you are the one that must see it. You are the one that deems truth, such things as truth. You are a student in this life, as we all are. But you are also your own subject to learn from. And you are your own teacher to provide the lessons and insights to be learned and gained. Much of this awakening path, much of this search and recognizing what we are, is coming to a point of accountability that you only know what you know. It doesn't matter what someone else has told you, what you have gained from someone else, what you've learned through conditionings, what you've rebelled and pushed away from. All of these things are effects, reactionary action. You are the cause of it all. So what is acting out all of these impulses and conditionings and habits? Go deep into such inquiry. Seek to discover your true origin. Who were you before you were named? Who were you before you soaked up the conditionings of your surroundings? Who were you before your heart had grown calloused due to pain and suffering? Who are you before you learn to hate yourself? Who are you before you learn to hate others? What are you when everything drops? The ground is clear for you to feel and see what you are. So as you sit in silence, see from this point of observation and see and feel all else as other. Something to be observed in silence. All we ask ourselves are questions, and in silence, we discover the answer. We must fundamentally know that the throne of our experience, of our soul, of our spirit, does not reside in the mind. It resides in the heart. Beyond where our organ lies, but more close to that center point in which we feel love and light shine forth. Come to know yourself as this silent witness, and liberation is ready and quickly approaching for you. The mind is what creates the caverns and the abyss, these gaps of fear and doubt, these valleys of the shadows of death. But the mind, the emotions and sensations of the body are just that, shadows. Our heart, our true self, can cross any gap, traverse across any plane. And understanding our true self gives us the strength and courage to continue down that valley of the shadows of death. When you begin to see your thoughts, emotions, and sensations like leaves rustling in the wind or birds flying by, you can reach a point of discernment, and more importantly, you lead yourself to the point of fully understanding that what we observe is not us, that what we observe can only be seen because we are. Seek to discover what you were and what you are and shall always be, before you convinced yourself you were something else. What are you when everything else falls away? And that concludes our meditation for this morning. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that this riled up something within you, awakened something within you. Fundamentally, I hope that this served as that spark to ignite that flame of curiosity and passion for a search of truth, to discover our origin. In life, a lot of people always tell us, you have to find your purpose to be happy. You have to, you have to know what really makes you happy to live it and do it. But that's not true. And logically speaking, that is just incredibly inaccurate. Because how can we know what we want? How can we truly know our purpose if we don't know who we are? If we don't know what's living life? And I think the important aspect of this meditation is that everyone takes this me, this I, for granted. We believe just because of our social conditioning and programming that we're this person, that I'm this Peter, that I'm this body, and, I'm the youngest sibling, and I'm this, and all these different attributes, these concepts, these things that you should be, that, what your family is, what we are. But it's just so false and so far from the truth. You see, the role of the child in any family, in all of life, it's intended to go beyond what the parents could. It's been the purpose since the beginning of time for the children to become the masters, to learn more than the master themselves, so this game of life can continue to grow and evolve. And just like this, we as children in this upcoming and transforming world, we must question the programming and social conditionings of our own forebears. And personally, this is the step of our generation, of anyone who's taking this search for truth now. This is our task, because we've reached a peak of our technological advancement. And what needs to grow now is our spiritual understanding of life in the universe. Because with such that knowledge, we can go beyond anything physical. And that's something that we can each come to discover firsthand and experience firsthand. That you can do far greater things in this world when you no longer adhere yourself to the beliefs and concepts of those living in past. Again, we can only discover the unknown when we in the new when we enter this realm of unknown. We can't discover these things, these new foundations of what could be physics, science, consciousness, this understanding of the body, without pushing our current understanding. That's just how we grow. So my last words, I'll try to keep this one short for everyone, is you must question everything within your experience. Everything. Leave no stone unturned. Because purely, you're the only one living your life. You know, when you really start to push your understanding and jump on that train to discover, well, what is this me I've been calling me this whole time? Who's this I that I know I am, that I feel as myself? That's the power of this type of search, of this questioning, is it can liberate you from the false. Because always when we believe ourselves to know something, we shut ourselves off from hearing truth. Words cannot express how beautiful of a recognition it is to discover what is real and true. Because, as in the meditation, it's the truth eliminates all fear and doubt. It can provide us the potential to trust and to love. And in such faith, we build a profound understanding in the truth, because we no longer fight it. We can see it like a blaring neon sign. And everything else really just comes down to a point of, are we willing to let go of what we used to show affection for? But I'll put it like this, and it'll be my last words. Spirituality and the truth kind of works like this. You're holding on to a hot pan your whole life, and it's been burning and burning and burning your hand. So you switch hands. But no matter what, you keep holding on to it, and it keeps burning you. When you discover the truth that the pan is indeed hot, logically we would put it down. But that's not how our habits work. That's not how our conditionings operate. Because your muscles, they have that muscle memory of, I got to hold on to that pan. Even your grip has become tight. Naturally, it's difficult for you to open your hand because you've spent so much time closing it. So the pan's hot, you've learned it's hot, you've set it down, but you're still gripping it, and you need to let go. So you let go, your hands recover, but then you forget, because the habit and the pull of what we've done for years is so strong, we want to grab that hot pan again. And it burns us, it reminds us, ooh, hot, hot, hot. So remember to let go. And spirituality and this recognition of truth works more so like, you can choose to pick up the pan if you want to, but you'll have a hot pad this time, so you don't burn yourself. And that's only really if you want to cook. But you turn around and see that there's a lot of other stuff in the kitchen. More often than not, you find something else to cook with. And you leave that burning pan by itself. Then over time, just as with everything else in the kitchen, that hot pan will cool down. And then it's not something to fear. It's not something that can hold you back. It's not something that can put you back into that realm of cyclic and habitual behavior. You can pick and choose and live life freely without any restrictions. And that's what the potential is for each of us. What would your life be like if you didn't have to deal with the drama that you create? What would your life be like if you really didn't react to anyone else's BS? What would your life be like if it doesn't matter how much of a shitstorm it is around you, you're walking around with a smile on your face? We each have that potential. We each have that opportunity. Through our suffering, we can learn. Through our suffering, we get to those points where we're just done and have had enough. But you don't have to suffer to end your pain. We're smarter than that. We're wiser than that. So we must do better than that. So take a few opportunities a day just to sit and look in this light of reflection, which we've talked about. Just take a seat and just be with yourself. And ultimately, continue to push the understanding of what you know to be you. I guarantee you it will reveal more to you each time. And as we unfold and peel back these layers, we just get a more pure and pure version of ourselves, ultimately unlocking our potential, living a life of happiness and growth. But we can only really start to freely dance in this wonderful masquerade of life when we take our own chains off of our feet and binds off of our hands, so we can really move around and dance freely. So, this has been Peter from Full Spectrum Performance. I hope you have enjoyed this meditation. And as always, I hope that these insights and this approach can help you transform your life. Have a great day. Have a great week. And I will see you next week. Have a good one, guys. And lads. And those who identify as whatever they feel. Have a good one. Bye.